Welcome. So in this video, we are going to learn about what are the major influences of literature or what affects literature. Why we are learning this is that when you study a particular piece, you can connect it with what was the cause of the production of such a work, what was behind the author's mind, why the author was writing such a work of art. So if you look at the influences of literature, we can see that there are six major influences of literature. The first one is history and culture, religion, politics, other literature, social and economic changes, and technology and science. So, what do we mean by history and culture? It is said that literature is a reflection of the society. So, we learn a lot from literature. From literature, we learn the history and culture. I have read somewhere that if history is the biography of a nation, its literature is its autobiography. So, through literature, we can learn about the time, the manners, and everything. So, that is the first thing, the time and place of the author and what was happening around him, and the author was responding to it. So, author holds a mirror to the society through his work. Sometimes he criticizes it, sometimes he supports it. So, by reading that, we can understand it. To give you an example, suddenly that came to my mind, there is a play written by Tughlaq, written by Girish Karnad. It is a play produced based on criticizing the Nehruvian ideology of following China blindly. So, he was, instead of directly attacking Nehru's ideology, he was using a historical context and a historical character to speak about that time contemporary India. Most people may look at it, oh, what is Tughlaq? It's a historical character, but his purpose was much more. And second thing is religion. Religion plays a big role in the production of literature, especially in the Middle Ages. Actually, church controlled literary literature, and even today people in a different country write according to the religious beliefs. They are not ready to challenge it because literature, history, religion, philosophy, they're all different cornerstones in which a society is built on. So they correlate to each other. Now we move on to the third concept that affect literature, which is known as politics. Politics, just like religion, is a very important factor in deciding in the production of a work. We know that many authors have to leave their country for writing against the religion of that particular land. For example, you remember Taslima Nasrin. She has to leave Bangladesh because her writings did not support the politics of that country at that time. So, political events, ideologies affect literature. Another example is the French Revolution. It produced a lot of literature. Even the emergence of a romantic period was inspired by French Revolution. And the Tale of Two Cities, written by Charles Dickens, is a response to French Revolution. And other literature also influenced English literature. For example, Shakespeare. He was influenced by both the Greeks and the Romans. Another way, Romanticism, as I told you, it was influenced by the French Revolution and also the literature of Germany and other European literature. So, literature, it's not something that we call as a pure. It is always affected by other factors. And the fifth one is the social and economic change. As I told you, writers always respond to the social and economic changes to the society. Even when the COVID hit, writers wrote about it, the sufferings of being lonely, living under a threat of a virus. So it is very common the writers respond. So Tolstoy and Dostoevsky are a very good example of how they wrote about the social and economic situation of Russia. And Tolstoy, he was only focused on the rich class. Dostoevsky stood for the ordinary and working class, and both these writers were looking at two different sides of the society and writing about it. And finally, technology and science affect literature. Today, we have digital humanities, that is, how we live with in the machine world, how human beings and machines are interconnected today, and we have neurofiction, how the neurons work in the brain and how it changes the character, it challenges all the notions. And AI, artificial intelligence. Today you can write a poem based using artificial intelligence. So literature also respond to these changes. So these are the six things that we have to look at to when we study a work of art. What or which was the major or important influence for bringing out that work of art. So having said that, we move on to the next video in which we speak about the major themes of literature. Before that, I want to comment below your 2 or 3 important takeaways so that I know you are learning it, and I'll see you in next video where we will deal about the major themes of literature. Just be there.